Today we're going to do a tour and walkthrough of my Ranger 361B. It's a 1989. It has a Mercury XR4 150 Blackmax. The hull length on the 360 and the 370 series boats was 17 foot, 10 inches long. The consoles on the Ranger 300 series were nice. They were just the right size. They had a flat top so you could mount graphs on them. They had a good gauge set. I like the switch layout. Fuel gauge, you had your trim gauge, temperature, tachometer, speedometer, water pressure. The only two gauges I really worry about on the dash is the water pressure and the temperature. Up here we got the Striker Garmin 7SV. You got your traditional side view, down view. It's a budget unit. It works. I really like it. It's been a good unit. You have the Hook 4. I use it for mapping only. It does have SD card, Nav-Onyx Plus. It has no transducer hook to it, so it won't graph anyway. I like it as well. It's been a good unit. Over here we have the horn, bilge, interior light, navigation lights. Here we have the aerator, manual on the starboard, timer switch to auto and it times it. Either one of them has it. Support live well, starboard live well. Same on the switch here, it's your port fuel, starboard fuel for the fuel gauge. Then you have the rack and pinion, it's the original steering that come in the boat. Rack and pinion set up, dual cable. These are the LED lights I rigged up on the interior light switch. This boat has the original carpet. I bought it 6 years ago, never replaced it. That'll be the next restoration project. When I bought it, it wasn't this bad. It wasn't flaking around the boxes. Fishing in the last 6 years has definitely wore it out a lot more. So that'll be the next restoration project I have to do. One of the things I like most about this boat is it doesn't have a bench seat. You can walk between it. You don't ever have to step on the seat. It's got 2 bucket seats. Has 2 cup holders, 2 grab handles. On the 360, you have fuel tanks here, so there's no storage underneath. The 370 series had storage underneath the seats. 370 series, 2 fuel tanks are here in the back, one here and one over there. Fuel caps on this back corner and one over there. 360 series had them underneath the seat, so your caps was here. Also, you have full length bars on a 370 series boat. Split bars on 360 because the cap's in the way, they have to split the bars. Live wells, 360 will always have 2 in the back. 370 series will have 1 in the back, 1 in the front, other than the 374, which will have 2 just like the 360. This boat does have the passenger rod ramp and storage box. It also has the raised deck. It's only 4 inches here to 2 inches up there. This is the Ranger deck extension. It gives you a lot more storage space for baits, just anything you want to put in here. I use mine for baits. It extends it all the way to the back of the console. This is another storage area in front of it. Life jackets, throw cushion, extra seat, anchor. It's fiberglass lined. Goes all the way up under the front deck. Gives you a lot of storage. It's also got a drain. Drains in the bilge. This is a small rod locker on the passenger side. This is a 6'6" rod here. That's as far as it'll go. It hits the fiberglass. It's about 4 more inches. That's all the room it has. So rods nowadays are just too long for this type of rod box. That's the reason I leave them on the top of the deck most of the time. This is the driver's side rod box. You can put 6'6" rods in it. I don't use it because it's a hassle to open because my rods are right on top of it. I use the deck extension, put all my baits in. If it wasn't for the deck extension, I would probably use this for all my baits. It'll hold a lot of baits. On the front of the boat, we have the Lowrance HDI 9-inch Hook 2. Has charts, sonar down scan, has a SD card slot, has Nav-Onyx Plus. It's a good unit. We have a front panel, has a trim switch. It's your anchor light. It's an accessory switch, which I read the LED light to. You have your trolling motor plug, 4-prong, 24-volt system. We have the Motor Guide X3 trolling motor, Katana prop, 65-pound thrust, and the foot pedal for it. Ranger made a bunch of different layouts in their boats. If you have a 2, 3, or a 5, you'll have a dual console. The way the front deck layouts work, it either have a cushion over there or carpet. Cushion here, carpet, or nothing at all. The deck would actually come across here on the ones that don't have anything. They also made one with a small storage box that's half as high as this deck. That's stocked here, it's just dry storage. You're either gonna have a live well here or a storage box here. And most of the time it's gonna be open here unless somebody's built a homemade style cover or bought the Ranger deck extension. That's the way the front deck layouts were on these boats. On the back deck of the boat, you have two boxes, port and starboard storage boxes. This is one over here. I don't have nothing but random things in it. Just storage. Do have a Pro Air pump. That's the Pro Air pump that pumps air into the live wells. It's got air stones on the end of it. Also mounted a box. You got some small parts that you don't want to lose. You can mount boxes. The Ranger boats have fiberglass lids. They're not metal. They got glass on this side, wood in the middle, and glass on top. They're really strong. On the other side of the boat, we have another box just like that one. It's the rain gear, clothes, light, some tools. Same box as the other side as well. In the middle of the boat, we have the live wells. These are fully divided. You can fill one side up without filling the other. Doesn't have just a divider with holes in it. That's the Pro Air system air stone. I also use PVC pipe caps in the bottom of my live wells. I don't trust the flapper valves. They leak. Your fish end up dying, you won't know it. Water will run out, and they'll be without water. Another layout that Ranger made was a 360V boat. It had a rod locker that went all the way across from one side to the other, in front of the live wells and the storage box. They had to shift the driver station forward for this, which gave it two 21-gallon fuel tanks, the biggest in the 360 or 370 series. The back deck was similar to the 390 series back deck design. At the back of the boat, or the back storage box, we have a trolling motor circuit breaker. We have two 12-volt batteries, 24-volt system for the trolling motor. We have a 12-volt cranking battery. We have the Minn Kota digital 3-bank 315D charger. And miscellaneous parts box. Just has random parts in it for anything on the boat or the motor. Underneath the storage box and the charger is a bilge, two live well controls that are operated by a cable. Underneath the live well is two aerators, one for each live well. The ones in this boat are the Johnson Mayfair pumps. You twist a quarter turn, the motor comes out. You take that one out, bring another one in, put the new one in, twist it a quarter turn, it locks in, rewire it. The bilge is the same way. Makes it real easy to replace. You don't have to mess with all the plumbing, all the piping and all that. It's real easy. At the back of the boat, you have your fuel selection switch. That selects which tanks you want to run on to the motor. Your fuel line, power bubble, dual steering cable, Garmin transducer. Underneath, we have the dual step oil the 360s had. Aerator, port, starboard, overflow for the live well, bilge drain. Things that I've done to the motor: fuel pump rebuild, put two power packs on it. The boat never charged since I bought it, so I put a voltage regulator on it. That fixed that problem. It's a 40-amp wet rig. The oil injection was removed, but they pulled the shaft. They pulled the shaft out of it and put the pump back on to cover the hole. I really don't like that because it could leak and cause a leak condition on one of the pistons. So I ordered the block off plate from Mercury. It's got the needle that sticks in the bushing to keep it from falling out that the shaft rode in. That where it won't fall out in the motor and damage something. Also went straight connect on the fuel line. Don't have to worry about leaks. Don't have to worry about pulling air at high speed and running the motor lean. Also got rid of the oil module. Lower unit oil changes, spark plugs, fuel filters, normal maintenance. Been a really good engine. This boat has a Quicksilver Tempest A40 23P 3-blade. Trailer was in really good shape. Wasn't a whole lot of rust on the trailer. Paint was still good. Fiberglass fenders are still good. They're usually busted up pretty bad. As old as this boat is, the gel coat was good on them. Carpets wore out just like in the boat. Tires were wore out. They actually had cracks in them, dry rotted. New tires, new bearings, new seals. Brake calipers and brakes work fine. Put LED stick lights on it. This LED stick light I put on there works good in the evenings or mornings. At night, you can see your trailer when it's underwater. See it as a lube. Also put these ratchet straps on here that bolt on, always on the trailer. You don't have to keep up with them. They work really well. 300 series is a great boat, great quality. It lasted a long time. They was easy to move around in. Driver's seat, passenger seat, going from the front to the back. The consoles are just the right size. They're laid out good, the switches, the gauges. They're easy to drive, they handled good. Front decks were laid out good. Had plenty of storage, especially if you had the deck extension in there. Handle great, fish great. I like mine. They use them in the Bassmaster Classic, the Bassmasters. I think the 373V was the Bassmaster Classic Edition boat.